Hello guys, just a quick update on the Russell Gosselin's D-Day group build. I've been around the Miniart kit. I've assembled this main part, the church, the ruined church. It's been quite an adventure because it does have a lot of seams, as you can see. There's a lot of filler here. One part that really surprised me though was fixing these isn't as hard as it seems. All you have to do is use a triangular file and get in there and file out the seam line with the triangular file as they state in their site. I did use a bit of filler here and there because some of these seam lines just didn't want to go, but mostly the seams are on the windows, on the straight parts and on the corners. Fit is of course not very good due to the way these are made and conceived, so it's been quite big a learning process. I did, however, do something different with these, and I just wanted to show you what I did. And I believe the things I've learned can help you guys if you ever build one of these. And well, probably you got there by yourselves, but I thought I'd share a little tip that I've learned so far. So what I do is I have these two parts which I'll use as an example. I have a bit of strip styrene, which is leftovers from the cleaning up of this kit, and the good part is this is simple styrene, so this is sheet styrene, as you can see, and it actually works very well gluing to itself. So what I do is I just give a quick filing in the areas I want to add the styrene, really quick. I cut a piece of the styrene. I glue it in place. You have to use a fair amount of glue. And then I just place the sheet styrene in place. What it does is it provides me with the equivalent to location pins on, kit parts, and it makes it easier for us to have, the edges working together. Now this is a bit more work than just simply trying to glue the parts, but in the end it does pay off. So I'll just place some more, and I'll glue both parts so you can see what how I'm doing this. I would always advise you to place them in the potentially problematic areas. And don't place them all in one of the sides. I place half of them in one side and the other half on the other, and it helps keeping things together. Because if you do it just in one side, you still might find some issues, at least from my experience with these kits. By the way, another thing you should do is to sand this sheet styrene, take this shine off of it. It'll help to adhere quicker to the place where you want to glue them. So you can see where this is going. It's going to make our life easier. I probably will still place on the inside of this one the same amount of plastic card or sheet styrene or whatever this is called, or can be called. Another thing, I've placed these on the outside. Now I'm going to place on this same piece on the inside. And I'll invert the same procedure on this part. I'll put on this part, I'll put it on the inside and then on the outside, so that I can have some, I don't know, strength distribution, I think it could be called. This is how I do it. Don't worry about this, if this is too big, because you'll be able to cut them once they're dry and adjust their depth. So that's it, guys. Now what I'll do is adjust the length. Use location pins. And one very important thing with this kit is a lot of dry fitting. As I'm probably sure you realized by now, this is a very hard fit. It does have a bit of hard work, but it also, pays off in the end, because it's the easiest way of having, build cheap buildings for your dioramas without, having to spend a lot of money in plaster or resin kits for the same purpose. So I think it's okay. We can have it all. So because we can't have it all, one must understand that, you know, you just need to put a little bit of effort into it and it will be okay. It won't be perfect because some areas of the kit are just very hard to deal with, but it'll make your life easier if you do things this way. As you see, now all you have to do is put the glue, and you have easier aligning edges. It's just easier to get there. What I do now is I glue bit by bit until I go from one end to the other. And then another thing I really like is Vallejo's plastic putty. This is what I've been using, and it's been quite wonderful because it dries faster than normal Tamiya putty, and it comes with this very useful applicator. Extremely useful to get into all the nooks and crannies, all the little crevices that you need to go into without using tons of putty. This is great. I've been using only this to do with my fillings. Another thing, it is very important for you to sand your parts correctly because it is extremely hard to fit everything with. When you cut these from the sheet, they also bring thickness. The thickness of the plastic is added to the piece itself, so you must take that off. So in order for things to fit well, such as this, you know, otherwise it will be raised. It might not be a completely hard to deal with problem, but it does not help. I think it's best to work with this, with the method that Miniart explains on their site. I just find working with these bits of styrene that I just placed easier for fiddly parts and even the main buildings than it would be, and in the end it is more robust. I believe it looks better, and that's how I dealt with this. So now I want to show you guys where I'm at with the base. The base was a bit problematic, joining both pieces, and I have made a decision to raise the whole diorama a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. The way I will do this is I'll use a bit of this blue styrofoam, add this on top, and I'll use a bit of balsa wood, which is now being glued. It's not being glued, but I'll use a bit of balsa wood around it so it can have the proper frame on the model. The way I did this was I did cut out the connections they had, so I then added bits of the same styrene that comes with the kit from cleaning the kit, and it made this relatively strong bond that allowed me to glue the road, which was the most problematic part, as best as I could. It still does have a seam, which I'll deal with, and these parts I don't care because I can add some rubble and you know, disguise this a bit. So this is my idea now. This should give you an idea of the whole diorama in terms of height. This will be the tallest part of the diorama. I'll have to change my shelves a bit, but it doesn't matter. You know, the diorama will be the most important build for the time being. So, oh, I also want to show you something I got at my local hobby shop. Really liked, and here it is. It's not, it isn't branded, but I did find these wonderful ceramic tiles. Don't know if you can see how they look. For €3, which is not much. And a smaller version of these tiles, thinner, maybe more like shingles, I think. But they also look very nice. So I'll be adding these and bits of balsa wood. Maybe simulate some flooring, some roof beams, and trying to add a bit of extra debris, because this is fine, but you know, it's not. I really want this to be a bit more dramatic than it is now. So let me just check out for the fit. Oh, it looks good. Will fit just fine. So that's it, guys. This is where I'm at. I haven't advanced anything with the King Tiger yet. I want to glue the base on the MDF board. Once that's done with the balsa wood and everything's ready, I'll fill in this seam, take care of that, paint the groundwork, keep working on the buildings, and when that part is ready, I'll progress with the King Tiger. Okay guys, that's it. Happy modeling.